Hey, it's Mr. Kingsbury. This is going to be a real brief set of notes. I just want to show you a cool calculator trick or skill that we're going to use this next unit. In fact, the next unit is going to be about quadratics. So you may see some things that you recall from Algebra 1. We're, of course, going to add on to those. Today, we're talking about regressions. A regression is where you take certain points and you find the line that fits them best. There's a little more to it, but I'll explain as I go. Of course, this is Mr. Kingsbury. We're in Algebra 2. Make sure to put the date in the period that you have me on your notes. Our essential question today is, how do I do a quadratic regression? And the answer to that is a series of buttons, actually. So step one would be to type the data into the calculator. How do we do that? Well, we're going to hit the stat button first. I'll show you this in a second, but I want to describe it first. You hit the stat button, and then you hit enter. And then side note, special note, make sure to put the x values in column L1 and y values in column L2. Very important. Once you've done that, then the next part, step 2, is regress the equation. So, and it's pretty easy. You hit stat again, but this time you hit the right arrow. Let's see. Then after the right arrow, for our purposes, you're going to hit option 5, and then you have to hit enter 5 times, I do believe. And then it'll give you the equation. So let me walk you through a couple of these, all right? Let's start with kind of something grand, all right? So here's our first example, and I'm just going to do a couple. Let's say that you have a table of values. And you know tables of values can go on for a while. Let's say that you have this table, though. Let's start with, say, negative 343. Let's do negative 1, 9, 0, 1, 1, negative 1, and I don't know, 429. That's a bit of data. What we can do then is we can have the calculator figure out what equation best fits this. Now, I'm going to be honest, I've made the examples so they're really, really pretty. A lot of times when we give you stuff, especially stuff that is based on real life, you will end up with some very interesting numbers that are not nearly as pretty as what you're about to see. Anyway, so let me walk you through this. Step 1 is we're going to go to, we got to go to the calculator here, right? Turn it on. It's all on. Hit stat. Stat is this button right here. It's in the middle at the top, or middle of the top. It's 2 to the right of alpha. And we get these 3 menus: edit, calc, and test. We're not going to touch the test menu. We're going to start on the edit menu. We want the first option, edit, so we're going to hit enter. And what happens is you get a bunch of these things that say L1, L2, L3. That's list. List 1, list 2, list 3. So what we're going to do is make lists, a list of the x values and a list of the y values. You may notice that there's stuff in here already. You can either delete those individually by hitting delete. It takes a little while. Or you can go up and highlight the list. Do not hit delete on the list. Let me show you on list 3. If you hit delete, it deletes the list. So you want to go over list 2 and hit clear. And right now you're going, Kingsbury, it didn't do anything. You're right, but if you hit the down button, ooh, it's gone. List 1, clear, down, there we go. So I'm going to type these x values into my first list, in the x value list. Negative 3, enter. Negative 1, enter. I don't know if you can see it, but it's going in at the bottom. And then as I hit enter, it gets put in up here. Let's see, 0, enter, 1, enter, and 4, enter. Then I will arrow 1 to the right, and I will put the y values in the next column. So we've got 43, enter, 9, enter, 0, not 0, 1, enter, -1, enter, and 29. And it's important that you put them in the same order. Each of these must be part of the ordered pair that they're from, right? So I put them in the same order that they're in the table. Step 2, then, we need to regress the equation. So hit stat, right arrow. Now, there are a lot of regressions that you can do. You can do a linear one, quadratic, cubic, quartic. If you go further, quartic, by the way, is to the third power. No, to the fourth power, excuse me. You can do natural log and exponential. There's all kinds of stuff. We don't want that. Remember the name of our unit? It's quadratics. So we want a quadratic regression, which is option 5, which is why in here I put 5. So just hit 5. Actually, I don't know why I put enter. It looks like you don't need... Oh, then you hit enter 5 times. My bad. So then you'll notice there's all this stuff. This is why we put the x's in L1 and the y's in L2. That's the default setting. That's where the calculator is going to naturally go. So we hit enter 5 times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And it tells us, hey, here's our equation. Now, when you write it, you don't write it just like this. This is the general form, and it gives you the A, B, and C values. So you're going to plug these numbers in for A, B, and C. So if I were writing this, I would write y equals 3x squared minus 5x plus 1. And that is all there is to it, truthfully. You will get different situations. In this case, I gave you a table. Sometimes you will not have a table. Sometimes you will get less than a table. In fact, the bare minimum that you need to be able to find a quadratic equation is 3 points. So let's say you had the point, I don't know, -8, -3, -1, 4, and 5, -6. And you want to know what's the line of best fit, okay? Or what's it? You want to regress the equation, the quadratic equation that best fits that. That's not a problem. Let's go back here. I'm going to go to stat. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to go up to L2 and hit clear, and then hit down. Go 1 to the left, up to L1, clear, and down. And now I will type my information in. Now you notice this is organized a little different. I didn't give you a nice table like this. Doesn't matter. I still need to put the x values in. So the first x value is -8. Enter. The second one is -1. Enter. And the last one is 5. Enter. Then I will arrow 1 to the right. And now I need to put in the y values. Now I need to be careful. The y value that goes with -8 is -3. So that's what needs to go on the top here. -3. The y value that goes with -1 is 4. So I hit 4. The y value that goes with 5 is -6. So I hit -6. So these should be my ordered pairs, and it looks like they are. Now I will hit stat, right arrow, 5, enter, 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 and I get this. And that is gross, isn't it? Sorry for the bells. These are not pretty numbers. That's okay. Let's write the equation anyway. Y equals, let's round it to the hundredths place. So we got 0.205. The 5 says we're going to round the 0 up to a 1. So 0.21 x squared. Then we've got 0.846. The 6 says we're going to round the 4 up to a 5. So 0.85. So plus 0.85x. And then lastly, we've got, oh, I forgot the negatives. Whoa, this is a negative. And this is a negative, which means I'm going to put minus, not plus. That was a close one. And then C is 3.358. The 8 says we're going to round the 5 up to a 6. So 3.36. So plus 3.36. And that's my equation. And that's all there is to it. I will do an example or two when we're in class, and we'll do some practice, and life will be good. Talk to you later. Bye.